Hello, Hawkeye fans. Welcome back to the video feed. I am Rob Howe, publisher of HawkeyeNation.com. Happy to be joined today by Trey James, big man from Kentucky in the 2021 class. How are you today, Trey?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for joining us on the Zoom. Technology, right? I've somehow figured out how to do a split screen here. I don't know if this is going to come out when people watch it, but hopefully they at least see you and not me. Um, so today you had a virtual visit meeting with Iowa head coach Fran McCaffery. Why don't you just I'll ask specifics, but why don't you just give us an overview of kind of what you guys talked about and what you learned about the program?
We spend a lot of times watching different clips from game film and just showing me how he thinks that I could do, how I would fit into their system, and like how I could run those positions and be able to do the same stuff or similar stuff to it. That was most of the conversation.
So what was that? I mean, how does he see you fitting in? What's he kind of see as what your role would be and kind of how you fit into what they do? And how do you feel about how you fit into what they do from watching those clips?
Well, I think it's a great fit. They like Iowa loves playing their big guys, and they like the more traditional bigs. Like Garza, he stretches it out, but for the most part, he's more of a traditional big than what most other bigs that we've been seeing lately. And so I think it's a great fit with it. And he was saying the same thing, said that he loves how I impact the floor on both ends, offensively and defensively. And I just thinks it'd be a great fit for both of us. I really work well in their system, and I agree completely.
Does your game resemble Luka's game at all? I mean, can you stretch the floor like that? Are you more of a low post guy? Tell fans kind of what your strengths are now and what you're trying to work on to expand your game.
I spent most of my time in the low post, really, because I've never really played on a team where I've had to do anything other than stay low, because I've always been surrounded by good shooters and good guards and everything, where I've just had to stay down low. But lately I've been working a lot on my ball handling and shooting, to where I'll be able to stretch it out more as I need to. And like I've been working out with a former Louisville guard that coaches in my area. I've been working out with him, and he's been helping me a lot with ball handling and getting to the basket and shooting drills and everything. And I think hopefully by the time season comes around, I'll be able to do it as much as I need to.
What is your height and weight right now, Trey? What are you playing at?
6'10". I was 242 last time I weighed myself.
Okay, that's a big boy. How about wingspan? Are you long? Do you feel like you play even bigger than 6'10"?
I guess I don't really notice much a lot about how much bigger I feel like I'm playing against people, but just because I've always just been bigger, so it just feels normal to me. But yeah, my wingspan, I'm not exactly sure how long it is. I haven't measured it in well over a year. It was a little over 6'10". It wasn't quite 6'11", but it was a little bit bigger than 6'10". Gotcha. In between.
Let's talk a little bit. We'll go back to Iowa too, but let's talk a little bit about your recruiting process. You verbally committed to Wake, coaching change there. What's this process been like for you? What have you kind of learned through the process, at least up to this point?
Just find the right fit, find a place to be comfortable at. That's all I've really been trying to do with it. Just go somewhere, just find somewhere I can be, that I'll be all right staying there for 4 years. And especially I won't be starting over really, because I won't really know anybody going in except for the coaching staff. Just find somewhere I'll just be all right, just completely showing up in a new place, and won't mind being there for a long time.
How did you deal with it's hard to know. I guess you learn a little bit more about it being a business when there's a coaching change after you're committed to a school. Was that, I guess, how upsetting was that? Or how did you deal with, figuring you knew where you were going and then not knowing where you were going?
it was upsetting, especially with everything going on, where I haven't even been able to play AAU yet. So that's been going into it. I was really nervous about everything, thinking that I might be in trouble with it now, not being able to really figure out everything. And it's still been a pain not being able to go visit the schools and meet everybody in person and everything. But yeah, it's got to figure it out as you go. Really, just try and find a way to make the best of it.
What are you doing to try to get to know and learn about these schools? Not like you said, not being able to get on campus and not being able to meet face to face with coaches. Are you finding yourself doing more? Talking to them more on the phone, doing more Zoom meetings, trying to do research on your own, trying to find out what these coaches and programs are about?
Yeah, I've done a lot more phone calls in the past couple months than what I have in my entire life. Before, I would try and save questions and stuff whenever I was on campus, able to talk to everybody, talk to them then. But now I'm just having to figure out every little thing I can over the phone, and it's good to be able to do that. But it's different than being able to talk to everybody in person and really get to meet them and know them and everything.
What have you learned about Iowa, and what do you like?
I love I love how they use their big guys more than anything. Coach McCaffery's great at developing them. Garza from the time he was really good whenever he got there, but from his freshman year to now is just it's insane how much better he's gotten at playing under Coach McCaffery. Yeah, I really love the development for him, and I think that it'd be a great situation for me to go to because I want to be able to play pro ball after I graduate college, and I think Coach McCaffery would be able to help me get to where I can play at that level, and I just think it'd be a perfect situation.
What kind of vibe did you get from Coach McCaffery? I know when you and I exchanged some message yesterday or the day before, you said you looked forward to get to be able to talk to him face to face, or at least virtually face to face. What did you get out of that? Did you get to feel like you got to know him a little bit? Got a sense of who he was and what kind of vibe he gives off?
Yeah. From what I can tell about him, he seems like a really nice guy. Like I was comfortable talking to him. I feel like I would be all right being around him for several hours of my day. So I think he seems like a great guy, and I really like Coach McCaffery.
And you also did a Zoom with was it Coach Taylor and who else? Courtney?
Coach Eldridge, yeah.
Courtney Eldridge. So you've gotten to know those guys a little bit too. Do you feel like you're starting to get to know this staff a little bit? And what do you think of those guys as well as Coach McCaffery?
Yeah, I've talked to Coach Taylor more. Really, the only time I really talked to Coach Eldridge was been on the Zoom calls. He was on there today and on the last one. That's been the only time I've really spoken with him. But I've talked to Coach Taylor several times just on the phone and everything, and I really like him too. He talks to my high school coach, my AAU coach a lot too, and all of us really like Coach Taylor.
So where are you what's the next step for you in terms of your recruiting process? Do you have a timeline in mind? What other schools do you want to check out? Where do you go from here?
I don't really have a timeline really, because I would like to be able to know where I was going to go around hopefully October, November. I'd like to have an idea of it, or at least even if I'm not completely committed somewhere, I'd like to at least know a pretty good idea between one or two, maybe three schools. But I wouldn't be against waiting until the late signing period if I absolutely had to, if I just really didn't know. But really, I'm just going to try and get on campus everywhere and try and just see, because it's hard to get a good idea and feel for everything without being able to get there and see it all yourself.
How do you think you'll know? How do you think in your mind? How do you think you'll know when you found the place for you?
it just feel right. Like whenever I went to Wake Forest, everything I was really comfortable there. Everything just felt right. I really liked all the staff, all the players I talked to, every one of the faculty that was walking over and talking to us. It just felt right. It just felt like somewhere that I really just wanted to be at.
So more just you'll know when you feel it.
Yeah.
Okay. In addition to Iowa, what other schools are kind of in that mix for you, and what other schools maybe that haven't offered yet do you feel like maybe you're picking up interest in you?
Yeah. Appalachian State and Elon and Iona, I talked to them a lot. I talked to them more than just about anybody other than Iowa. I talked to all four of them about the same amount. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I know Ohio State, they called my high school coach yesterday, and I'm not even sure who all has called my AAU coach and stuff. He'll let me know occasionally. Like, I didn't even know how often he was talking to Iowa until a couple of days ago. I thought it was maybe like once a week or so, and then he said they were calling just about every day, and I didn't know that until a couple of days. So, yeah, I'm not exactly sure who all has talked to him about me and or how often, but yeah, it's just schools. Some will message me, we'll talk for a while, and then might hear from them the next day, might not for a couple of days, or it might be a week. You never know. Because everybody's just so busy and trying to figure out everything right now. So it's hard to really tell who's really talking to me a whole lot, because you never know if they could be as often as they can, or it could just be whenever they remember to. You never really know.
Yeah, and it stinks what's going on, man. You guys would be in front of scouts and coaches right now this month, and not having that exposure is killer. It'll be interesting to see kind of how this plays out for everybody, not knowing, not being able to be evaluated like that. What are you doing to kind of maybe, I don't want to say sell yourself, but maybe get yourself out there a little bit more? And what are you doing to kind of work on your game, even though you can't play AAU?
I'll go to a trainer in Louisville. I'll do an hour of agility and foot speed training, and then we'll either go through drills for 2 hours, we'll play for 2 hours, just depending on how many guys are able to get in. I'll take videos of that. I'll take videos of a lot of my workouts and try to clip them together. I'll send them out to coaches, or sometimes my mom will post them on Twitter and Facebook and everything.
I've seen that. Your mom's a good promoter.
Yeah, she's gotten good at it over the years. And I'll go lift weights Monday through Thursday. Sometimes maybe on Friday too, depending on if everybody's free for the day and able to get together. Because I'll go with my assistant coaches, and one of them's a lawyer, so it just depends on how often he's able to get away from his office and come over. And practicing with the high school team 2-3 days a week. Working out with the former Louisville guard and a former Marshall senior. I get in with him as much as I can. And our girls coach, she owns a private gym not far from here. And I'll go work out over there with her. Me and some other teammates will get in there as much as we can. Yeah, I'm trying to do as much as I can to get myself ready and improve over the quarantine.
Do you know C.J. Frederick at all? Him being from Kentucky, have you heard of him, or do you know of him?
Me and him were actually on a team at a camp a couple of years ago. I was in I think it was my 8th grade year, maybe. It was we was on teams at a camp. We weren't really on the court a whole lot together. It was because I was playing up at the high school camp that week, and it was everybody had to. Well, it wasn't just like an actual game where you can put in guys as needed. It was every couple minutes, new rotation of 5 guys would go in. And so, we weren't on the court together a whole lot. But, I know. We didn't really speak a whole lot, but, yeah, we know each other. And Aaron Ewis, he's an incoming freshman. He played on the older Mean Streets team last summer, and and me and him were on there. We had practices together.
Okay.
But really conversations, I don't know if me and him ever actually talked or anything, but I know of them.
That's cool. So you have a little bit of a you know, I don't want to say connection, but at least know of guys that, you know, that you've been around that are there. So,
Yeah.
So just kind of overall, what are your feelings about Iowa? Where are you kind of at right now with them? Do you get a sense academically if it's a fit for you? Obviously, that's probably important as well, is trying to figure out what you want to study and where you fit from an academic standpoint.
Yeah, my mom and dad, they both work in the school system, so they're both really big on the academic part of everything, especially mom more than dad. But yeah, well, we talked about that earlier. They asked me what I was wanting to study in, and I'm not really sure right now. And he told me, he said they can help me figure that out whenever I get there. So he said around 200 different options that students are able to choose from. So I'll have to try and figure that one out. But yeah, I know they'll help me try and figure out what I want to do. And if I'm anything like my sister, I'll probably change my mind 2 or 3 times before it's all over.
I don't think that's unique to your sister. We all go through that. We all bounce around. I landed on journalism. Sometimes I wonder if that was the right choice, but here I am at 53, 30 years later. So, Trey, I really appreciate you taking the time doing this with us. I think the Hawkeye fans will think this is cool. You get a sense when you'll talk to Iowa again? Did you kind of leave it like we're going to stay in contact and kind of build this relationship?
Yeah, me and Coach McCaffery were talking about that. He said made to watch some more film, which me and my dad have been watching some as much as we could. But yeah, we're gonna watch some more film, and said he was going to give me a phone call every couple of days and talk more about it, talk more about how I fit into it, and just try and build a relationship with everything.
Great. Well, I wish you the best of luck. I know Hawkeye fans are hoping that you decide to choose Iowa, but ultimately we want you to choose what's best for you. And we wish you a ton of luck with this process. I know it's not easy, and it's made particularly more difficult in the times that we're going through right now, and it's not normal. So hopefully you can do the best you can with that. And hopefully things open up a little bit and you can get out here on campus and get a chance to see what we got going on here in Iowa City.
Thank you, sir. Hopefully I'll be able to get down there pretty soon and check everything out.
All right, my man. Well, thanks again for your time, and be safe and be well, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you for taking your time to do all this. Just thank you and stay safe.
Thanks. You too.
Yep. See you.